So I know you're thinking what I'm thinking, right? So why now? Why start a YouTube channel now? Short answer is why not? So I've been on this journey, this weight loss journey. It depends on which start point you want to talk about. So I would say the last 7 years, where I started really going seriously, but I'll kind of dive into my history with weight loss. It's a beautiful day today, by the way. Look at that weather. So I've always been heavy since, I would say, birth. I was big. Apparently I got stuck in the birthing canal coming out. I was a big baby, born with 2 black eyes. And I just chunked up from there. Was always the biggest, the pudgiest kid in my class. And ballooned up from there. I remember we got sent away for like this camp in 6th grade. And before then, it was like must have been early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. It had to be early 90s. Yeah, it was definitely the 90s. Anyway, around that time, I always wore either sweatpants or stretchy pants. So my mom did not know what pant size I was. So my grandmother, she owned a thrift store, and my mom took me in there, and because one of the requirements for 6th grade camp, they called it, was to wear blue jeans. Well, we didn't know what size I was. So my mom took me to my grandmother's thrift shop that she owned, and had me start trying on pants. And the only pants that fit me at 6th grade were size 14 in women's. And then just the shame that came along with that, and my mom making kind of slight remarks to my grandma, thinking that I wasn't listening, like, oh, she's bigger than I am, and it's pretty early on. Just stuff like that. So I've always been big. I remember my junior year of high school, I was at 225. After I got married at 18. That's another story for another day. But after I got married, my weight, it was a bad marriage. My weight ballooned up to, at that time, 245. Had to been 245. I was depressed. And then I just got with my doctor. I was like, how can I fix this? So she put me on basically like South Beach diet. She's like, follow this. Awesome. I got down to 178. Felt so good about myself. I had confidence I've never had in myself before. And I was a size 14. Felt great. Comments, of course, started. Oh, you're looking kind of sickly and this. I was at 14. Like, that's still overweight, but whatever. Moved down to Florida after that. I had gotten back with my ex-husband. It went terribly wrong. He went to prison. Came down to Florida. Got in a bad relationship with an alcoholic. My weight ballooned up. And then got out of that relationship. Got with my husband a while after. Anyway. And my weight went up all the way to 330 pounds. Now, I had proven to myself once that I could lose the weight, but South Beach for me isn't sustainable, right? It's a permanent, it's like either you want to stay smaller or you want to eat like a normal person, and my head at the time wasn't in it enough to commit, so I went off South Beach and I gained all the weight. But anyway, I had heard about weight loss surgery, and I had a friend that had the lap band, but it went really wrong. It went into her stomach and stuff like that. So I got with a doctor just to see what my options were in Tampa Bay, and he told me about gastric sleeve. He said, well, you can choose between gastric sleeve or a bypass. Well, my father had already had 2 failed bypasses, and my doctor was strongly urging me to get the sleeve. So I was like, let's do it. I need something. So I went in there and got the sleeve done. The day of my surgery, I remember my surgeon was late. I'm like, what's going on? He was in a car accident. On his way to my surgery, showed up, beat to hell. He looked awful. And they still let him do my surgery. And I was just like, okay. I was just so excited. Insurance was covering it because, I was morbidly obese. And yeah, I let him go through that. Had a lot of complications afterwards with GERD. I would aspirate stomach acid. And with me, with the sleeve, there was never the sensation of being full. I was always like starving. So, also at the same time, I screwed up. I found out about some really life-altering, tragic stuff. And I didn't handle it well. And I stretched it out on top of, already, because I figured out how to work it to where I could eat and not throw up. Because generally, before I paid attention, I could eat whatever, of course, but then I would throw it up. But anyway, I learned this, how to eat without getting sick, and to push my sleeve as far as I needed to. I knew what to do. Gained about, because I had lost like 60 pounds with that, went all the way up to 330. And then, I didn't want to go with the same surgeon. I'm just like, I just need one more chance. God, please give me another chance. So I found another surgeon within the group. Really great guy, Dr. Thoughty Malta, in Tampa Bay area. Amazing guy. And he had faith in me. And he was like, Melissa, we're going to do this, but you need to be committed. I'm like, you know what? Absolutely. So I started some counseling. And I put myself into it. And this was at the start of COVID, so 2020. Had a revision done to a do-it-all and switch. And I failed to mention with the first surgery, I also had my gallbladder out because I had really bad stones. But anyway, had the do-it-all and switch. And slowly over the next 5 years, everyone acts like it's, around me, acts like it's overnight. It's not. It's just you haven't seen me because of COVID. We all got sent home from work. To work from home. But anyway, I lost almost 200 pounds. I feel pretty good where I'm at. I just did have a tummy tuck. So that really helped with the extra skin. As you can see, like right there, like my armpit and my arm. I still have extra skin in my arms, on my sides and my thighs. And then like no chest anymore. I used to be like triple D, big girl. Barely a B, but that's fine. But yeah, so like I said, why now? Well, I think in the weight loss community, if you don't succeed the first time and you admit that you need help, or you admit you screwed up and that you need another chance, there's so much, like even outside the community, but within the community, there's so much shame associated like that. Like, you should have done that. Well, yeah, you know what? I should have, but it's a learning curve. I've had these behaviors my whole life. I'm trying. Not hard enough at times, but I'm trying. So I just want to be that person to say that if you fail at first or twice or whatever, it's okay. As long as you are doing things in a healthy way with a doctor's guidance, it doesn't matter how you lose weight. You could do sleeve, a VSG, you could do gastric bypass, you could do the do-it-all switch, you could do a GLP-1. It shouldn't matter how you lose the weight, as long as you do it through your doctor and you do it healthy and safe. And then also use it as a tool, because it's not a fix-all, right? These are just tools, and you have to change your behavior. It really sank in the last couple years with me, and I've become really addicted. Does that mean that I've given up everything? No. I still indulge in small amounts. I've learned that avoidance just makes me crave the item more. So if I want ice cream, I have the ice cream, but I just have a small amount, stuff like that. Just change behaviors. Working with a dietitian is great. Therapy, for me at least, is a must. Identifying where these behaviors come from, why I do it, and coping mechanisms, I think is all important. But I want to be that person that I needed in my corner when I was going through all this, to say it's okay to screw up. You just learn from it. That's how we grow. So we make mistakes and we learn. That's how it works. So being that person I needed for myself, I think, is really important. And why not? What else am I gonna do, right? So it kind of extends my reach and be that friend for the person that needs to hear it. And if nothing else, I have a video diary for myself later on in case I mess up again. Knock on wood, hopefully I don't, but life happens, life be lifing. So anyway, that's why I'm doing this now.